Good evening once again, everybody. It's Wednesday. You know what that means? The Survival Studios is live once again, bringing continued coverage of the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament as we continue forward with this Wednesday night delight. That is AEW Dynamite. So hello, everybody, and welcome back into the Survival Studios. Thank you all for tuning in. Please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Again, I hope that you all enjoyed. If you want to dictate the conversation, super chat, pay by the patch is as simple as that. We got a stacked night. We're going to learn who the wild card is and the women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament continues in the quarterfinals. That's Winsor, the NW Strong Women's Champion, will take on a wild card since Willow Nightingale, of course, had to vacate both the TBS Championship and had to vacate her spot from this tournament. We wish all the best to the smiling face of TBS in her recovery. Mark Briscoe is looking for a fight after Saturday night, after watching the conglomerate and show what they're about. And the first man that he saw for that fight was Lio Rush. So get ready for things to get really weird, really violent, and really extreme as Mark Briscoe goes one-on-one with the Blackheart, Lio Rush. Kevin Knight, who believes that he is a jet on another level, VIP class, everyone else below him is coach. He now goes one-on-one with his former tag team partner, Speedball Mike Bailey, defending the TNT Championship tonight as Jet Speed is dead. But will the Jet be ready to go tonight, or will Speedball be ready to fight and become the new face of TNT tonight? We'll see soon enough as we revisit this Continental Classic rematch. As the Triangle of Madness said that nothing will come between them, we will hear from them tonight as, of course, Sky Blue is involved in the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. And, of course, Julia Hart, former TBS champion, and Thekla awaits the winner of the tournament, of course, at AEW All In. As we look at Roosh with Renee Paquette right now, preparing to talk about what is ahead tonight in our main event for the AEW World Championship. And Will Ospreay looks for revenge against Mark Davis. He looks to achieve a dream, not just for himself, but for his country tonight. As, of course, he takes on Dunkzilla in the semifinals, where one of our finals will be cemented after this match tonight for Forbidden Door in the men's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. And it all culminates with no countouts for the AEW World Championship tonight as MJF defends the gold against Roosh after denying Mark Briscoe. As Roosh reminds you, you mess with the bull, you'll get the horns. And that is everything and so much more ahead tonight on AEW Dynamite. So let's have a freaking good time. Good to see Safet, of course, in the chat as well. And again, if you haven't already, please share the feed. Tell people. Follow us at SR Studio, 2024. And as always, please follow us today on our outlets on YouTube. It's MJF Confronts Roosh here tonight. Oh my gosh, and just slapped Roosh. What the hell is this? Oh! Double A takedown as MJF instigates his challenger already, and we need security backstage to literally protect this World Championship match. And we're already starting red hot here tonight as the road to Vandor continues as I welcome you in officially once again to AEW Dynamite. As we come from Richmond, Virginia, compares the crowd on hand from the Stuart C. Siegel Center. This is going to be so much fun. Shout out to Tony Giovanni, of course, and Taz that are on commentary. And again, as we saw moments ago, MJF and Roosh are both fired up for the AEW World Championship to be defended later tonight in no countouts. Freaking following the Darby Allin agenda, it feels like. And good to see Darren again in the chat as well. And Daniel, it's good to see you also as we let the fuse bring the boom as they run down the card. Again, we got a World Championship on the line. We got the TNT Championship on the line between Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. We're going to learn who the wild card is. Is it Mercedes Moné? Is it Danny Luna? Is it Killer Kelly? Is it Deanna Purrazzo? Is it Charlie, the former Dakota Kai? Is it Kyrie Hojo? Is it Kyrie Sane? Who faces Alex Winsor tonight? And finally, Will Ospreay looks to elevate himself one step closer to the Wembley Stand as he takes on Dunkzilla Mark Davis of the Don Callis family. The only time that Will Ospreay had a match stop due to referee stoppage as we go backstage with a very fired up Roosh with Renee Paquette. Couldn't imagine what Roosh is figuring right now. Oh, Andrade. Ooh, Andrade face to face. Tonight, do it for the family. Do it for the raza. Do it for anyone who say we beat world champion. Show everyone who Roosh is because You missed the bull. Do it. Wow, Andrade hyping up Rouge, and Andrade, who also has its eyes set on the AEW World Championship. For those that don't know, Rouge was brought in by Andrade El Idolo into AEW. All right, Justin Roberts, take it away. Let's get our first match in the way. And we are officially opening up with the AEW World Championship. Oh, boy. Rouge, former Ring of Honor World Champion, of course, two-time Ring of Honor World Champion. One of the most intense men out of Mexico with a hot match singles winning streak so far in AEW. After confronting MJF last week and MJF denying Mark Briscoe the chance for the AEW World Championship. As, of course, Rouge and Andrade are both looking for history, not only to become the AEW World Champion, but become the first Latino to become the AEW World Champion. Imagine Rouge flipping the script on the AEW World Championship scene. I don't know what MJF was thinking slapping Rouge, though. The man has a damn death wish. The referee for this contest will be Bryce Remsburg. Again, folks, there are no countouts here, so of course that means no disqualifications. Title can only in his hands be a pinfall or submission inside the ring. MJF's first defense since being in Darby Allin at Double or Nothing. And MJF dressed up like a matador, further inciting the bull with a red cape. This guy will stoop to no means that are beneath him to get inside the head of his opponents. And the fact of the matter, the only reason this match is happening is because MJF refused to give the shot to Mark Briscoe, who beat him last year at AEW All Out in that tables and tax match. Mark Briscoe and Kevin Knight are the last two men to beat MJF in singles action. And clearly MJF is trying to use the emotions of Rouge against him in successfully retaining his Triple B, the AEW World Championship. Now a three-time AEW World Champion. Let's go down to Justin Roberts for their inductions. For those that don't know, this is a first-time ever one-on-one matchup. Rouge, of course, has been involved in this business for 18 years, trained by Pitbull 1 and 2, and, of course, Toro Blanco. For those that don't know, that means the White Bull. And, of course, MJF is going to tell Justin Roberts how to introduce this city and probably insult his opponent as he only can. Go figure. He took out your home state boy, Heyman, so he can never challenge the World Championship again. Damn. Which is accurate, because we are in Richmond, Virginia, where Heyman and Page is from. He says, you put the Virgin in Virginia. What a dickhead. Or scumbag, excuse me. I guess that's the more appropriate term. For Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. And there's the flag. Oh, brother. 30 years of age, of course. Three-time AEW World Champion, trained by Pat Buck and Brian Myers, involved 11 years in this game. Bryce Remsburg, of course, drawn the assignment for this match. It's one of those fans also that I'm glad to see Rouge actually getting a World Championship shot. Again, former two-time Ring of Honor World Champion, former CMLL World Light Heavyweight Champion. MJF and F literally locking up in the middle of the ring, trading elbows here. Of course, we've seen Rouge's most intense matches against the likes of Bryan Danielson, Anthony Bowens, Darby Allin, who literally beat Rush in a no countouts match with a quick roll-up as MJF just spit in Rush's face. This is the moment where you know MJF officially probably effed up. And MJF trying to beg off the bull, swing and a miss, tried to get the miss in front of the eye. And right now, so far, getting the better of the challenger, but again, getting a little bit full of himself here very early. Walkman! Overhead belly toss, of course, use the hashtag AEW Dynamite to be a part of the conversation on the X as Rush right now looks to fly over the top rope with a tope con hilo. Rush and Fuego in Richmond, Virginia. I mean, Andrade, Rush, Máscara Dorada, Mystico, who also has a very turbulent history, of course, with MJF. There's a lot of great people that could become the first ever Latino AEW World Champion. And of course, Andrade confronted MJF after the House of Glory match against Zula Fatu after nearly costing MJF that match. Andrade, of course, the money man of the Don Callis family, who's been on MJF's payroll. Oh, man! Through Don Callis' of course, bankroll. And Rush right now driving MJF into two sides of the barricade. And again, Rush can be as violent as he wants on the outside of the ring. There's no disqualifications. Everything's legal, including that wire that is used to choke a myriad of opponents out with during his AEW career. Rush, of course, coming off right now a 7-match singles winning streak in record fashion against TJ Crawford, LSG, Adam Priest, Anthony Bowens, Dante Leon. And of course, really cemented this opportunity winning that Super Station Showcase 4-way last week on Dynamite against Brian Cage and Orange Cassidy. Drop toe by MJF sends Rush face first in that chair. And about to say, Rush took a little bit too long that MJF was able to capitalize. MJF, a master psychologist, in-ring IQ that surpasses his years. Now squaring up Rush with the big boot side of the head and wiping him out into the Timeskeeper area. Again, folks, keep in mind as we are in the Forbidden Door season and the Owen Hart Foundation tournaments are going, the winners of the Owen Hart Foundation tournaments will be crowned at Forbidden Door and will challenge for the respective AEW men's and women's world championships at AEW All In London in Wembley Stadium in August. Will MJF and Thekla still be at the forefront of that conversation, though? And Rush says, MJF, flip it over! Back body drop on the table in the Timeskeepers area. And I don't think that table broke. I think his legs hit the back barricade wall, too, as I look at the replay overhead. Of course, y'all watching along with me on HBO Max or TBS. MJF left in a heap. Good grief. Fans chanting Rush's name, of course. Rush, of course, who came into AEW. Oh, man. At Double or Nothing. Red hot crowd here tonight. Double or Nothing 2022. Introduced by Andrade El Idolo, originally joining what at one point was the Matt Hardy the Matt Hardy brand. Now exposing the top turnbuckle. MJF, of course, who has never faced Rush before, but has already faced a myriad of opponents since returning to AEW last year, including Darby Allin, Heyman and Page in the Texas Death Match. Oh, man, what a vicious bullhammer elbow. Now, Rush is driving his boots in the shoulders of MJF. Anytime we see MJF gets his ass kicked, though, it's a good night on Dynamite, don't you think? And Rush right now, no tranquilo. Of course, Rush, original member of Los Ingobernables. If you mess the ball, you get the horn. MJF just jumping out of harm's way on the apron. Face first, though. Now, Rush attacking the body, though, bringing MJF back inside. Shots midsection, another vicious elbow strike. MJF right now, literally on spaghetti legs. Open mouth wide. Oh, wait a minute, Rush, and Bryce getting in way of the exposed turnbuckle. Saving MJF from certain collision as Rush goes face first in the exposed steel. What the hell was Bryce thinking? Rouge head first now explodes turnbuckle. Rouge might be seeing red here in more ways than one. Why would a ref literally get in the way of a stipulation where there is no disqualification? Why not let MJF get bludgeoned? And Rouge right now literally playing full pop. I didn't see anything. And I believe Rouge is busted wide open, but I can't tell. Oh yeah, Rouge is bleeding red profusely as MJF tears away at the open wound. Now the freaking headlock takedown. Digging his fingers in the open goosed wound right now of Rouge across the forehead. The blood drips down across the right eye and the right side of his head, impairing Rouge's vision. That burning, searing effect ripped down by his hair. The fact of the matter that MJF has such a deplorable... He calls himself number one, but again, you talk all you want when you deliver results. Yep, we got blood, folks, and it wasn't John Moxley. Good to see Safed again, by the way. Appreciate y'all's engagement, of course. And, of course, oh, man, I've been plowed by Rouge. If you have a conversation or you want to the conversation, super chat, pass simple as that. Vicious spine buster by MJF, catching Rouge on the run-in and teeing off against that open wound with a closed fist. That nasty whiplash effect off that vicious double-A-like spine buster. Again, the ugly face of the devil being shown clear as day here this evening at AEW Dynamite. And once again, looking to square Rouge up. And this time, Bryce getting in the way of MJF, driving Rouge's head into the turbo. Oh! And finally, Rouge from behind pushing MJF, face personally exposed steel. Turnabout, fair play. And Rensburg didn't see anything as again, his back was turned. Of course, no count out means there's no count on the outside, but I guess disqualification is still in force to a degree. Swing and a miss. And then now Rouge teeing up against MJF with these open right hands. Irish whip, shots to the body, shots to the head, splashing in. The Irish whip again. Rouge swinging MJF to the opposite side of the corner. Big splash by El Toro Blanco. Rouge might be fired up here. What happens when a white bull sees red and it's their own blood that's that shade? Irish whip off the ropes. Sidestep, rebound, German suplex for the champion. Bang! Hit him with the knee, running in. Cover, hook the far leg, back press, and gets a 2 counts. Woof. MJF's title, of course, in jeopardy. Of course, we know still to come tonight. The men's Owen Hart Memorial Tournament will continue. Will Ospreay, Mark Davis, still very much alive, as well as Swerve Strickland and Brody King. That match to come at a later time. One of those men will challenge the AEW Men's World Championship at Wembley Stadium. This all dragged out of the corner by Rouge. Shots MJF to the opposite side of the ring. Now brings it towards center. Hook on the far leg. Side press. Gets a 2 count, says Bryce. I still remember when Rouge was the Ring of Honor World Champion and defending that title against the likes of Bandito. It's one of those things also where the champion basically has dictated now who would be the easier, maybe more vulnerable opponent to actually overcome, or the one he'd rather be in the ring with, whether it was business acumen or not. Is again, MJF knows that he lost to Mark Briscoe. Probably thinks Mark Briscoe bigger threat. Jackknife takeover by MJF, gets a 2 count on Rouge. Back elbow. Now Rouge's arm in position for MJF off the second rope with a double stop. Stopping on the left arm, obviously softening it for that salt of the earth Fujiwara armbar. Wait for the Lufes press. MJF catching Rouge though into a vicious powerbomb breaker over the knee. Now the cover, hooking the metal press and gets a 2 count again. Immediately floats over though into the Fujiwara armbar, looking for that salt of the earth arm breaker. And Rouge in the center of the ring right now, nowhere to go. Needs to try and roll MJF over, get some leverage, or push his legs over to the ropes. Literally tearing that bicep out of its socket. Now Rouge going for the rope. Gets a 2 count. Sidestep. Sends Rouge to the apron. Rouge though goozing MJF again though. MJF using the ring to his advantage. Driving that arm across the top rope. Now looking for the Heat Seeker DDT. Planning Rouge to send the mat the same way he beat Brody King at Grand Slam Australia. Rouge able to fend it off. MJF on the run, and it runs into the Bull's horns with that headbutt. Caught him square in flush on the head. Damn. That might have been an instinctive move or a defensive one. Either way, Rouge, though, right now, might have been more rot from that move. Crowd already chanting, this is awesome. We're only 20 minutes in. Again, this is professional wrestling. This is AEW. This is all elite wrestling. And this is the AEW World Championship. In our opening contest now, what's sure to be a stacked night of action. I love when AEW gets such a damn good hot start with a damn good match. With limited commercial breaks. Straight jacket, hold on MJF, and moves a pile driver! Tombstone on the apron! Rouge right now with the champion reeling. As we take a short 45-second commercial break with Peralta picture. Don't go anywhere, folks. The action continues. But again, have streaming services. Damn. That's a hell of a difference maker right there. Straight jacket, tombstone pile driver on the freaking apron. MJF crown. Accurate, Safet. And again, I hope that you all continue to follow us in the Speedball Studios for our continued coverage of the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. We will be back here this Saturday for a Collision. As we know, the women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament will continue with Kazuki of Stardom, the Wild Heart, taking on the Goddess of the Underworld, Persephone, the current CMLL Women's World Champion. Again, still here tonight. We know we got Alex Winsor versus the Wild Card. Mark Briscoe takes on Leo Rush. Kevin Knight will defend the TNT Championship against Speedball Mike Bailey. We will hear from the Triangle of Madness, Fekla, Julia Hine, of course, Sky Blue, who is also involved, waiting to take on the Sun God Saray in the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. And the Owens, of course, continue tonight, which is why we are covering Dynamite, by the way. I want to put that in literal quotations. As will Ospreay takes on Dunkzilla Mark Davis in the semifinals after Mark Davis beat Jungle Jack Perry last week on Dynamite. And Will Ospreay was able to overcome Samoa Joe at Double or Nothing. As this match, of course, continues here. Good to see Charles Schultzer. I hope we see Jake Doyle tonight because I said this name something. And good to see you, Charles. I'm glad to see you part of the conversation. Hey, if you wanted to join commentary, all you got to do is let me know, bro. I'll be happy to send you the link. And again, I hope that you all continue to appreciate what we do in some of the studios. Shout out to those that tune into our interview with the future of wrestling, the center of attention herself, Brittany Brooks, FSW Women's Champion multiple times over. And thank you so much, Brittany, for your time as we are back here. And Rouge just literally headbutted a staff member. The member of the medical staff checking out Rouge, and Rouge wanted none of it. Headbutting that medical person up and over on their head. Damn, that's probably going to be a fine. As this match does continue, of course, Bryce did not call for the bell, and Rouge obviously will not take a referee stoppage here tonight for the AEW Men's World Championship. You see Rouge right now favoring that left shoulder, but driving his boots right now into MJF, holding the left arm to the inside of his body. And the crowd firmly invested in Rouge's chances tonight. As once again tells you, if you mess with the bull, you get the horns. Rouge on the run and drives the horn through MJF. On target, cover that man. Rouge with an arrow punch too, and MJF finds a free arm on the bottom rope. The only thing saving MJF's title there. And yeah, there's nothing more comfortable than your own bed. I absolutely agree, Charles. Mad respect to you, bro. Again, Rouge already dropped the doctor, so of course there's no way for Rouge to be checked, or MJF for that matter. MJF, though, using the free arm for the rope break to save his title here tonight so far. And once again, Rouge possibly looking for another pile driver, but MJF able to escape as Rouge's left arm gave out. MJF, by the way, is the 18th AEW World Champion in this company's history, and literally the only second other man outside John Moxley to hold the AEW World Championship now at least 3 times. You see Rouge, again, keeping that arm clutched close to the body, though. Again, scouting MJF on the outside. possibly looking for a very Pyrrhic move here. Bull might be seeing red, but is he seeing clearly tonight? And once again, Rouge on the run, and MJF sidesteps Rouge as Rouge shuts himself through the barricade. MJF avoiding certain disaster and Rouge certain destruction. Good grief, the driving force of Rouge's horns destroying that barricade. 17 successful plus defenses overall for MJF across all of his runs as AEW World Champion. And right now, MJF looking to hook Rouge up here. Oh, not on the floor, on the concrete. Oh boy, this is going to be bad. And a pile driver on the broken barricade bit. And MJF drove his own knee in the process. But literally targeting the neck of Rouge, collapsing Rouge's entire body onto his head. Again, this replay, though, the driving force. And Rouge already hit the back of its head on the floor. MJF literally putting his own knees in harm's way as he's done so many times against the likes of Darby Allin and Bryan Danielson with that move. Damn. I'm about to say, again, no countouts does not mean that disqualifications aren't enforced. There are disqualifications in this match. Now MJF hobbling his way to the ring and grabbing the left side of his body. MJF, again, so savvy. Already overcoming this year, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, Kevin Knight, Zilla Fatu, Brody King, Alec Price, Bandito, and of course, at World's End, Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland. MJF's leg giving out, though, as he was looking to grab Rouge, and Rouge grabbing the back of his head and neck. This is not good here. And of course, that stinger effect with that bad shoulder isn't helping Rouge any better either. That knee filling MJF, that shoulder filling Rouge here. Again, intensity, adrenaline takes you so far when the body gives out on you. And once again, MJF might be looking to drive the head of Rouge into the canvas with a heat seeker DDT, and Rouge drives MJF off, and MJF might treat his own knee, unable to affirm himself on his own 2 feet. How many times have we seen MJF literally injure his own knees during his championship matches and still come out in the end, though? I will give that to MJF, literally willing to put his own body at harm's way to preserve his Triple B. Now, Rouge right now having a huge trouble going up to the top rope. Once again, though, sidestep MJF looking for the missile drop kick, and Rouge's head hit the body canvas hard on the canvas. Excuse me, hit his head hard off the canvas. Rolls Rouge over. As the hammerlock and the crossface. Applying the pressure to Rouge's neck. Will Rouge tap out? Will Rouge give out here? And again, literally torquing against Rouge's head here. And look at Rouge right now. And that level of defiance as MJF again literally ripping apart at Rouge's neck. Rouge might pass out here. And Bryce calls it. That's 6. As Bryce stops the match again. The same way he beat Bandito by referee stoppage. The damage too much for Rouge to handle as he passes out in that modified cravat crossface. MJF retains the AEW World Championship. I love whenever a championship opponent is defiant. And Rouge is the definition of defiance. But unfortunately, Rouge is just another victim in defeat of MJF. MJF still the hold of the Triple B. First defense for MJF's third run as AEW World Champion. Sending a message to everybody, especially Mark Briscoe and Andrade El Idolo. The fact that he literally had that shoulder trapped in a modified hammerlock in between his legs and then literally wrenching the neck of Rouge, that vicious whiplash effect. Now MJF looking to square up Rouge for a shot with that AEW World Championship to the face. Oh, wait a minute! MJF, though, with a face of shock as Mark Briscoe makes his way to the ring. Swing and a miss. The last man that MJF wanted to see in. Mark Briscoe looking to hook MJF up, positive for a chain driller. Oh, and a low blow in the uprights. Stopping Mark in his tracks. Again, MJF taking every possible stoop he can to be the last point in any conversation. Oh, wait a minute, the conglomeration! Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle Riley, and Tomoshi East sending MJF off running. My boy, Still Pitbull. Yeah, LaBelle Lock for the win. Good point, Darren. And another victim, of course, is MJF uses every tool that he's stolen and learned to be the top guy in the conversation. And clearly, Mark Briscoe knows he has a date with destiny when it comes to MJF and winning the AEW World Championship. Woo! At start, though, for the night, MJF still to possess the Triple B. Roosh, again, a commendable effort. As, of course, they run down the card, of course, that we talked about earlier. We got 2 matches tonight regarding the Owen Hart Foundation tournaments. But coming up next, we got Mark Briscoe out here. Reach for the sky and man up, boys. Mark Briscoe takes on Leo Rush in the exhibition of this commercial break. Fuck television. Whew, my word. Now I can finally get a chance to breathe here for a freaking second. Oh, anyway, let's go ahead and see what you all got to say here in the chat. To your point, Darren G, that was indeed a LaBelle Lock. The arm trapped in the Kimura, hammerlock between the legs, and the vicious cravat and all the pressure with the S grip across the jawline here as he wrenched Bruce's head and neck in that modified crossface, which is basically what a LaBelle Lock is, folks. Still, though, I think a very good opening match, though, and a very commendable effort by Roosh. And overall, I'm glad that Roosh got this opportunity, but let's be honest here. We didn't see Roosh winning tonight against MJF, did we? That would have been a huge shock factor. And MJF becoming a 4-time world champion before freaking All In, that'd be even more insane. I mean, do you really see MJF being in any other spot at AEW All In outside the AEW World Champion in the main event? He was the AEW World Champion in the main event of the first AEW All in that same building match I had at Wembley Stadium. I'm just saying. Whew. All right. Well, we got a moment to breathe again. Thank you all for tuning in. Please leave a comment. Tell a friend if you haven't already. Follow us at SR Studios. Follow me if you choose. My name is Noel Foster. Of course, you can find me on the X and on YouTube at Foster1916. Subscribe and follow the Rage of Wrestling the Day on YouTube. Walter Cruz, Mr. Reliable himself. Check out Cascading Studios, of course, on the YouTube on the X. Follow him at the Renegade JJ Williams. That's the Renegade JJ Williams. And also, don't be a dickhead. Subscribe to our Canadian friend, Ash, at Bay for Wrestling, of course, as Ash, of course, handles professional matters and takes care of priorities over her passions, but is still a young punk at heart, and we appreciate her for it. And follow our Mighty Morphin Pink Powers, the other queen of Sleep Studios, Dash, at the Tilla, at Rangers of Wrestling, and her new venture at Pop Culture Powerbomb, bringing you all sorts of outlooks on anime, Pokemon, pop culture, and so much more, including her recent escapades at Comic-Con. So follow the SR Studios today at all the outlets that you see. Follow us on the X to stay tuned for interviews, further watch-alongs, commentary, and shenanigans to be seen. And just keep along with us here for the ride at SR Studios, becoming your, or hope to be your, reliable outlet for all things professional wrestling coverage too. Well, as we got a moment to breathe here, I hope everyone's had a great Wednesday. I hope everyone's had a great week so far, and I hope that everyone continues to follow us here for what's ahead. Again, we'll be back here this Saturday with Collision coverage as the Owen Hart Foundation tournament will continue with Hazuki taking on Persephone. And I hope that everyone's just doing well, staying cool, being the heat, and hopefully protecting their mentality and having a great June so far. As of course, today is June the 3rd, and the summer will be jumping off soon enough. Probably bringing us more wrestling than we can handle, but we're still going to deal with it because we're crazy. As we return here to AEW Dynamite tonight, getting ready for this unique exhibition, and I do say unique to the highest degree as we return to in-ring action. Mark Briscoe waiting for Leo Rush as Justin Roberts takes care of the introductions. Mark Briscoe is one of those men you can always see on the mic or in the ring that just brings a smile to your face despite the fact he doesn't have 2 front teeth. As MJF was attempting to take out Mark Briscoe prior to the commercial break for those that are just now tuning in. As Orange Cassidy, Kyle Riley, Roderick Strong, and Tomoshi E look down the entrance way in frozen uncertainty at Leo Rush making his entrance, and I can't say I don't blame him. Well, clearly something's changed in Leo Rush since we last saw him in AEW, and no one knows what to make of it, high or tails of it. Kyle O'Reilly's face, Orange Cassidy staying frozen, closing his eyes like, don't look at him, don't look at him, don't look at him. I'm about to say Orange Cassidy playing red light, green light. They see Leo Rush looking back right now and run away. Do not look at Leo Rush in the eyes. Of course, Leo Rush came across an interview segment backstage, in case you're all wondering, which is why we got this match here tonight. And Matt Helms, good to see you. I'm doing all right. Just trying to keep my head above water in life and enjoying professional wrestling tonight with the only TV show I watch live weekly, AEW Dynamite. And already Leo Rush talking to himself in the corner. Mark Briscoe also taken out of sorts here. And Leo Rush maybe whispering something in Mark Briscoe's ear. And apparently trying to maybe confuse Mark. I mean, is Mark Briscoe ever truly confused? Can anyone actually answer that for me? Because I don't know if you can confuse a Briscoe, especially one as wide-eyed as Mark. But now Leo Rush talking to himself and now going for the kick, up and over, catch the boot, and now Leo Rush with the misdirection now. Mark Briscoe with the drop down. Leo Rush eye to eye with the redneck Kung Fu Chicken Man. Crane style. Went for the crane kick. That doesn't work, Mark! Oh, Insecurity does, though. Rocking Leo Rush against the ropes. That redneck Kung Fu. I really wonder how many degrees of belts does redneck Kung Fu have. Once again, Leo Rush, though, stopping his own momentum and stopping Mark Briscoe in the process. Big uppercuts and Leo Rush up and over to the floor. That's one of those things, though, where Mark Briscoe might channel his inner Cactus Jack. How thin that Mick Foley, of course, is all elite. Bang, bang! And Leo Rush looking to draw on the apron. And again. And now Leo Rush pulling out his arsenal of pistols. And Mark Briscoe and Leo Rush fighting on the apron here. This match is the definition of uncertainty. And now Mark taking a bite out of that chicken man. I don't think that tastes like chicken. I mean, again, we've seen Leo Rush, though, despite his bizarre demeanor, he's been in some very prolific matches as of late. Now literally jumping around like an animal on the outside. And sidestep. Leo Rush out to the floor. Of course, we've seen Leo Rush already in the ring with the Bastard Pot, Tommaso Ciampa, and reunited with Bobby Lashley at Stadium Stampede after that kick to the ear caught Leo Rush. And Mark Briscoe scouting Leo Rush with the running blockbuster off the apron. Mark Briscoe right now with the advantage early on as action continues on here, folks, at AEW. Stay tuned in full commercial break or browse on picture if you're on TBS, fuck streaming services. Oy, Leo Rush is a head case in himself, giving me my own damn migraine. Well, anyway, I mean, again, do you all think Mark Briscoe deserves a shot at the AEW World Championship? And if so, should we do it at Forbidden Door? Should we do it at Redemption? Should it be maybe at Summer Blockbuster or Fight for the Fallen or our special AEW Dynamite or even next week? I mean, the last time MJF was supposed to face Mark Briscoe was before pay-per-view, was back in my neck of the woods, Cleveland. Charles saying Leo Rush is normal insane. Have you looked at the dictionary lately? I don't think normal and sane have Leo Rush as an example. Then again, I don't think they have pro wrestling as an example, Charles. I'm just saying, but okay. By the way, while we got a momentary commercial break, I want to encourage everybody that is a supporter of Rebel Tanea, who is facing a terminal illness, is showing incredible courage and strength, being an advocate and literally being a strong survivor, and also bringing awareness to the strength that you can still have in facing this condition. So if you can, please support Rebel today, support Rebel Heart, buy the merch, shop AEW, as of course, all proceeds will go towards funding ALS research, and I am ALS. You could also get the shirt today. You could also look further into what ALS actually means and what people go through. So show your love today to Rebel Tanea and support her in this cause that she faced, but is also literally empowering a movement of strength forward. Nothing but prayers of love and strength to Rebel and anyone that has faced that condition or is facing that condition or has seen somebody face that condition or knows somebody that faced that condition. So again, bring awareness to ALS and show your love and support to Rebel today, and buy the shirt, Rebel Heart, buy a wristband. If I wasn't so frugal or broke, I probably would myself. Again, Rebel, we're with you, girl, in spirit. Hashtag Rebel Heart. All right. Well, anyways, we got another commercial break here. I'm actually going to leave you all with a little bit of a segue, as if you want to know more what the Speedball Studios brings to you, check out this watch-along trailer in What We Do. And I'll see you on the other side. Stay tuned.
And now for a taste of things to come.
And as you see, the Fed also say here, truly here's the most serious truth that covers and embrace all the wrestling. Of course, AEW brings us all the wrestling you can handle this summer with the summer blockbuster that'll be from my neck of the woods, Cincinnati, Ohio. That'll be, of course, next week, Wednesday, and next week, Thursday. And AEW, of course, will also be in Youngstown, Ohio this Saturday. Tickets still available today and won't cost you a kidney. AEWTIX.com. What an insane summer we got ahead here for the professional wrestling business. Lio Rush and Mark Briscoe squaring up against each other and now shrieking at each other. This just turned into a screaming contest, folks. I kid you not. Palm strikes now by Mark Briscoe, channeling his inner Musashi. Irish whip reversal. Mark Briscoe off the ropes and drives himself through Lio Rush. Mark Briscoe right now with the momentum. Of course, Lio Rush, former MLW Cruiserweight Champion, former NXT Cruiserweight Champion, former TNA X Division Champion, now driven into the corner, MCW Race Television Champion, excuse me, and former House of Glory Crown Jewel Champion. Iconoclasm, the cover, hook of the near leg, and kick out at two by Lio Rush. Able to escape that big move. And of course, MJF probably still far away as possible. Got Mark Briscoe on his mind that tried to embarrass him. Watch out, what a short range lariat. Good grief, took Lio Rush's head off. Now Briscoe, double underhook, probably looking for the J Driller. Can he hoist Lio Rush up though, who widens his base? Trying to find his way through. Jackknife float over, covered by Lio. Gets a 2 count. Of course, Mark Briscoe, former Ring of Honor World Champion. 12-time Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion alongside his brother, the late, great Jay Briscoe. Reached for the sky. Now Lio Rush up the bottom rope. Was looking for a rush hour and got intercepted by Mark Briscoe. Messy landing here. Back of the head. Briscoe Posse looking for the cutthroat driver. Center of the ring. Cover hook the far leg back press, and that is it. Well, that fight was everything I expected it to be. Of course, Mark Briscoe, a man that will not back down from anybody. And Mark Briscoe continues to make a very compelling case, I think anyways, to himself and to AEW faithful, that he should be involved in the conversation for the AEW World title. It looks like Mark Briscoe is going to speak to us now. Got a microphone in hand. Well done, man. What you got to say real quick? Yeah, I got something to say. Well, speak to us, chicken man. Mr. Cameraman. Come closer. I'm talking to one man and one man alone. And that's you, Maxwell Jacob Freeman. Let me sort it out for you, man. Let me take you back to 2023. 17th of that month. My brother. My tandem brother for 20 plus years. Jay Chan's reading out loud and proud here in Richmond, Virginia. In the blink of an eye, gone. Just like that. One day later, a few hours later, my birthday, January 18th. 1 week later, like it's been our whole lives, January 25th, my brother's birthday. But instead of celebrating, eating a birthday cake, like I always have, I find myself making my debut in AEW. Damn right. Making my debut alone. Only imagine the whirlwind of emotions. This grief, this anger, this rage. AEW, I say my luck, that's my therapy, man. That's how I got my anger out. But still couldn't find no joy deep in his core. Then I found some friends, somebody was down to conglomerate. His heart was full once again. I mean, Mark Briscoe's had one hell of a journey, both as a wrestler and as a father. I felt the joy of a professional wrestler once again. And I feel that's justified for the fans, too, when it comes to AEW. We cross paths week by week, slowly but surely. Every bullshit sense. Damn. Then here that rage came back to that surface. I never hate a man like I hate you. That's justified for Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Pinned your blood. Yeah, he did. It in thousands of tags for a broken table. You pinned his ass 1, 2, 3. Let your AW all out. Felt like it was closure. But I was able to sell his mind again. But sure enough, your ugly ass head popped up. The difference now, though, is he's got somebody who wants. Mark Briscoe wants that AEW World title. Bitch, whine, moan, and complain. You throw a hissy fit till you get what you want. Accurate. Mark Briscoe saying he does it the man's way. I grind, I don't complain, and I put in the work every day. Respect. MJF, wow. Mark Briscoe calling out MJF's manhood. Brought me back to this place of done than ever been, man. Call yourself the devil. Big Hebrew. Here it is right here. Child of God. That's a hell of a tattoo. Damn! Moist ass bitch! Well, Mark Briscoe getting his own testimony out here tonight on why he believes he should be in the conversation for the AEW World Championship, preaching his gospel of resurrection and life, both as a wrestler and as a fighter for AEW while still living in the world of the devil. That's a hell of a closing remark. And we'll see if MJF actually has the manhood to speak up. As, of course, we look towards what's still to come tonight when Kevin Knight defends the TNT title against Speedball Mike Bailey after going into business for himself, saying he was disappointed in Darby Allin. Moist ass bitch. Okay, first off, that's just two layers of insult because moist, yeah, that's one of those words that people don't use for reasons. And, well, how many times has MJF been called out being a pug bitch? So, damn, Mark. That tattoo, though, child of God. What happens when a child of God faces the devil? You look at the Bible, you see the devil lose, man. And he's not wrong. As a child of God myself, I definitely can respect and relate to that. Damn good stuff. Anyway, Kevin Knight, who went into business for himself, said he's not here to take part. He's here to take over and soar higher than anyone else here in AEW. Look at the ground. Speedball Mike Bailey. This, of course, has become very personal considering weeks apart, Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight came into AEW together. They were challenging for the tag team titles multiple times over. They were sharpening each other for the Continental Classic. They faced each other one-on-one. Well, while we wait for this epic collision to unfold, again, folks, we'll be back here this Saturday covering Collision as the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament will continue as we look at the updated bracket. Tonight, we're getting Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis. Next week, though, from Cincinnati, Ohio, we get Swerve Strickland versus Brody King, a rematch from AEW Revolution that will determine the other half of this year's men's Owen Hart Tournament finals. And, of course, the women, as you see, Persephone Asuka will be this Saturday. Sky Blue will finally take on the Sun God Saray next week, Wednesday, in Cincinnati. Mina Shirakawa, of course, lost to Athena, and Athena wins the winner of Sky Blue and Saray. But tonight, we will learn who Alex Winsor faces as the wild card. Uh-oh. I believe that's Thekla's voice. Yep, that's Thekla. Apparently she has something to say. Made a promise to herself. If one person came from Stardom to AEW, I would burn that company down. Well, she was fired from Stardom. Yeah, you used to be the auto killer in Stardom. I remember that. Every cute little girl make her stick to her stomach. Well, Stardom has plenty of those. Yeah, you got fired from Japan. The president fired you on worldwide Japanese television. Triangle Man has 3 jobs to do. They're saying that Sky Blue needs to win the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. This sister of Sin, Julia Hart, needs to get her TBS title back. Can you imagine the Triangle Man is all holding gold in AEW? But Fekla has already set on Forbidden Door. Whether they're going to close the door for good. Why are they pulling out a ladder? What? Not declaring war on Stardom, declaring death on Stardom. What the hell, Thekla? That message wasn't very clear enough. What the hell? Does Thekla want a ladder match at Forbidden Door for her title? Oh, that's just disgusting. Never mind. Just spitting on the Stardom name on the LED Titantron. Well, to Taro Okada, you've been warned, and if I were you, I would send the likes of Saida, Micah, Bozilla, Suzuki to rip every leg off this toxic spider, or you're going to have a rude awakening at the Forbidden Door, or a rude welcoming. Again, Thekla awaits to see who will challenge her, maybe from Stardom, for that title. Imagine Saray or Hazuki challenging Thekla for the AEW Women's World Championship. It could happen as we take another commercial break. Fuck television. Well, clearly no love lost with Thekla when it comes to her previous boss and previous place of employment and organization that brought her to the forefront in the first place. For those that don't know, Thekla came into Stardom as part of Julia. Yeah, you remember Julia? Yeah, I remember her too. Julia's faction, Donna Del Mundo, when she was the freaking World of Stardom champion. The red belt, for those that don't know. And of course, Thekla and freaking Julia and Mai Sakurai and Micah and the Jumbo Princess Himika and Natsupoi, who's been part of that faction at some point. They ruled Stardom. They created their own stories. They all had gold at some point. Of course, Surya, of course, surpassed Julia later on due to Julia's injuries. Hell, Julia lost her hair one time against Tam Nakano, who's now retired, by the way. Might I add? Also, I agree. She's my favorite women's champion right now in the wrestling business. Don't at me. No one compares to her. Especially as a competitor and her intensity. And also the amount of people that she's willing to piss off, but also the amount of people she's faced. Dynamic challengers. What a crazy concept. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. The fact of the matter, though, that she left Donna Del Mundo, joined Oedo Tai, who became Kate, former SWA Undisputed Champion, of course, lost that belt to Mayu Iwatani, the Stardom icon, of course, who was out injured. Again, Mayu, get well soon. The fact that Utami Hayashita is back in Stardom. Can I just get Utami Hayashita versus Thekla, please? Thank you, Tony Khan. Book it. For those that don't know, I am heavily foundated, involved, and loved in this business from a foundation of Shinyan Pro Wrestling, Pro Wrestling, the Japanese wrestling scene. Best of Super Juniors, Pro Wrestling, NOAH, Stardom, even Marigold to a degree with Michael Eno right now have enthralled me more than most stuff domestically, not named AEW or Ring of Honor. So, in case you don't know, now you know. So if there are any questions regarding Best Super Juniors or Japanese wrestling, we got a commercial break. You all can speak your mind. You can ask me anything. If you want to learn more about me, I dare you. Ask me anything. I'll give you a simple take. I'll give you a simple 7 sentence. I'll give you a simple 7 seconds. Go for it. Go for it. The chat's all yours. The night's all yours. We're virtually attending AEW Dynamite and having a good time. And again, we still have Owen Hart Foundation tournament matches to come. We know we got Owen Hart Foundation tournaments to come, not just this Saturday, but next week, Wednesday. So stay tuned. Recovering Collision and Recovering Dynamite. And of course, we'll be shortly here to the Forbidden Door. Speaking of which, stay tuned for City Predicting, of course. I will be City Predicting the Forbidden Door and covering it live as my show of the weekend, as we got 4 shows across 3 different companies, 2 that are going to be mid, but one that's actually a pay-per-view from a different place, the first pay-per-view since Rebellion. But nonetheless, we are in for a fun time this month as we go backstage to the Death Riders. And Maria Shafir right now working on Will Ospreay's right shoulder. Daniel Garcia right now giving Will Ospreay a pep talk. course, John Moxley's been sharpening. Tonight's night is gone forever. So now moving monsters Mark Davis. Any man's beat what you're going to. John Moxley saying this Will Ospreay is a different guy. He never wrestled Mark Davis. Don't like the temperature around lately, all these groups. Game warfare. John Moxley saying Ospreay has one job tonight. You beat Mark Davis. That's your job. Everything else, you let me worry about it. Starting to see it. Man, that's a hell of a pep talk right there for John Moxley to Will Ospreay. Can Will Ospreay make it to the finals, though? That remains to be seen. But coming up next, we have a standby match. We talked about one Latino man. Let's talk about another, as Andrade Idolo is now in singles action. You got to consider right now with MJF, who is going to be the next man to challenge him after Mark Briscoe's declaration. But Andrade Idolo is also a man that has gotten under the champion's skin, and of course is the current IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion after beating Yota Tsuji at Dontaku, now looking towards maybe defending that in a triple threat against Drew Maloney and Shota Umino. Of course, the last time we saw those two men, they confronted the new champion, and Andrade said, okay, I will take you both on. A day's not been determined yet, so I do wonder, could that even be at Dominion? John Moxley, of course, over the last few weeks, as we've seen, has literally reinvented Will Ospreay as a dangerous weapon. And, oh, hello, another mamacita who apparently wanted to get a little bit of a selfie with Andrade El Idolo. I guess what happens when you're a free man to the world. You can put yourself out there for any woman. As if Andrade Idolo doesn't have his own motivations already. Well, good luck to this jabroni. He's going to need it. I do wonder, though, will the Don Callis family get involved in Mark Davis' match? There is a sense of urgency. Bell rings around the way for this standby match. That waist lock being applied here by the way, yeah, that was just a big elbow. Who is this dude? Jawbreaker. Oh, God, that fake out big boot back elbow. Buenas noches. Uh-oh. Andrade, apparently not done yet. Looking for more punishment with the damn. Now Andrade will happily take the victory. And it's over. Yo quiero, MJF. Andrade Idolo getting paid by the minute and paid by the selfies. Uh-oh, looks like Andrade has the microphone. Of course, Don Callis with his own agenda. Clearly, Andrade Idolo does not want to follow Don Callis' MO. We saw how well that went out for Konosuke, though. MJF has the world title. Yes, he does. I really want it. Oh, I want this match. Mi hermano, Rouge, I know you beat him. Yeah, he did. Pretty profusely. But do you think you can beat me? Well, he's never faced you one-on-one. The real Latino man. Yeah, dig to Yota Tsuji still. How you know? Someone put that on a shirt for Andrade. Uh-oh. Andrade making his case, but Don Callis might have something to say. The leader of the Don Callis family, bringing out Jake Doyle in tow. Jake Doyle, who just returned last week Wednesday on AEW. I don't think Andrade expected Don Callis to come out here, though. Again, most people who don't share the same MO as Don Callis are screwed eventually. And the universal chant, F Don Callis reigns out. All right. Don Callis. Oh, gosh. Something very important to say. Now, what could this freaking thumb have to say? What? Are you kidding me? The newest member of the Don Callis family? The Jet Kevin Knight? You have got to be freaking kidding me. Technically, I guess he did recruit him last week. I thought that was just a conversation. I mean, now they got the TNT Championship back in the family. So I guess Don Callis' hatred and evil has convinced another young, bright individual, and Andrade El Idolo does not seem too happy about this. Again, how deep is a family before it collapses from within? Kevin Knight embracing Don Callis. I guess it's official. The one you look up to now looks up to Don Callis. Kevin Knight is in the Don Callis family. As this people might bet didn't have enough motivation to fight. Speaking of. Oh, boy. Well, that's one way to draw heat. But right now, Don Callis, Jake Doyle, and Andrade Idolo need to vacate the ring as, of course, we get ready for this TNT Championship. Yep, you heard me right, Safet. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Knight is the newest member of the Don Callis family. Everybody, it's good to see you, by the way. And Bryce Rensburg right now, Rick Knox, excuse me, drawing the assignment for this match here. Freaking excommunicate the Alpha and gain the Jet, Kevin Knight. Good grief. Well, if there's anybody that could breed another man's hatred and envy, it's Don Callis. So I guess Kevin Knight bet on the right horse here, possibly. Before he's thrown out backstage in the woodshed and shot. Anyway, Steve-O Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, a rematch Scandal Classic, kind of a tie-up here. Jake Doyle and Don Callis, by the way, are also at ringside. Of course, TNT Championship, TV Championship matches only have a 20-minute time limit. Pushing Speedball up against the ropes right now. Rick Knott's calling for the break. Swing and miss. Whoa, man, and nearly took his head off with that spinning back heel kick. And Don Callis already given the game plan for Kevin Knight here. Swerve Strickland did say earlier, if you want to be a killer, you have to be able to hang with killers and become one yourself. You think about it again with Swerve Strickland called Kevin Knight the future at the beginning of the year, and we saw Swerve Strickland and Kevin Knight go one-on-one. So we're going to miss. Speedball went for the kick. Whoop! Lands on his feet. Rolls through. Kevin Knight, though, sends charging in. And Speedball sent shoulder first in the steel ring steps. Into the corner of those steel ring steps. Excuse me. And of course, we've seen this new attitude manifest and come to a boiling point out of the Jet. Oh, man. Kevin Knight, when he freaking UFO splashed a stretchered Darby Allin. Now driving Speedball again into the barricade. I mean, again, how many members does Don Callis need in his family? At one point, he literally says he won't rest till every member of the family has gold. He just literally recruited the TNT champion. A title that Kyle Fletcher previously held, but clearly Kyle Fletcher has his sights on a different prize with the Alpha. Springing in the ring, Speedball able to get out of the way, and Speedball with the schoolboy roll up, 2, count only. Went for the PK, went for the standing moonsault. Kevin Knight able to evade out of the way. And again, these two know each other so damn well, been a tag team pretty much their whole careers together in AEW. Whoa, Mitchell's escape out of that kick. And still, man, the early going here. And you see the familiarity clear as day as Kevin Knight drives barely up and over with the clothesline on the outside. These two have literally been in the ring one-on-one with each other now for the better part of 3 times. They actually met each other first back in Impact Wrestling in 2023 before either man was All Elite. Jumping off the steps in the apron, looking for the lunging clothesline. Now Speedball with the step-up kick. Roundhouse catching Kevin Knight. Back heel kick. Kevin Knight bringing up the top rope. Corkscrew. Moonsault connects. Up the middle rope to the floor, wiping the jet on the outside and grounding the TNT champion for the moment. Of course, the towel can only change hands. We had pinfall submission inside the ring. And Kevin Knight, Speedball, and Matt Bailey first came to AEW as a tag team back in April 2025 when they took on the Young Bucks. And right now, Speedball looking for Kevin Knight in the drop zone. The ultimate weapon lands on its feet, able to roll inside. Kevin Knight, drop kick! Just wiped out Speedball there, and Speedball coming up as Kevin Knight immediately on the attack. As this freaking heated TNT match continues, the restaurant Claudia Perazzo picture as we got a commercial breaker again. Fuck television. Good grief. Of course, the only other time these two met each other one-on-one in AEW was during the Continental Classic. Speedball Mike Bailey was able to beat Kevin Knight last year in the Continental Classic Gold League, and it took 13 minutes. It's also one of those things, though, that I just look at Kevin Knight, and I'm just like, do you really need Don Callis? I mean, does Don Callis need another person that you know he's going to betray in the end? Ridiculous. And let's see here. Andrade El Idolo, Kyle Fletcher, Kevin Knight, who's the other ones that are the aces? Kazuchika Okada, Beach, and the oddities, Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, El Clone, Lance Archer, and Mark Davis and Dick Doyle. It seems to me a little bit heavy for our family. I'm just saying. But what do I know, right? Dadgum. And again, Kevin Knight, for those that don't know, he, of course, won back this title, as we know, in a freaking, Blackjack Battle Royale, winning, of course, this title for the first time ever. Kevin Knight, of course, who's held this championship now literally since AEW Dynasty. After it was vacated due to Kyle Fletcher's injury, as Kyle Fletcher made remarkable record time in his recovery, and as of last week, has been officially cleared for in-ring competition. I gotta imagine that Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher will probably face each other for the AEW National Championship, maybe at the Forbidden Door. But the fact that Thekla put War out on Stardom, not War, Death on Stardom, something tells me someone from Stardom's going to show up and wreck Thekla's world. Now, the question is who? Suzuki, who's going after the World of Stardom Championship. Micah, who's been, of course, here before at Ring of Honor, and one of the strongest pound-for-pound individuals, of course, in Stardom. Maybe Hanan, who, of course, the Wonder Stardom champion. Natsupoi, as she did talk about the cutest, the idols, and she certainly is an idol in Stardom, at least in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be the World of Stardom champion, Sayaka Kara. I don't think it's going to be her. Maybe Saya Ida, who previously faced Alex Winsor for the Never Strong Women's Championship. That's definitely a possibility. But again, I don't know. What do you all think? Again, let your thoughts be known also in the in the comments as well. Who do you want to see in the Forbidden Door from Stardom? Do you know Stardom? Who you want to see show up from NJPW? Maybe we get Tomoshi E versus MJF for the AEW World Championship. As we are back here at AEW Dynamite tonight, Richmond, Virginia, Stewart C. Siegel Center, the TNT title on the line. Speedball Mike Bailey versus Kevin Knight, just being no longer a feint. Speedball on the run, though. Kevin Knight unable to keep up and around, and Speedball catching Kevin Knight, looking for the DDT, but the strength of Kevin Knight hooking Speedball up, taking over the German suplex. Just a rangy athlete and running in with that sliding lariat. Of course, a student under Kushida in the LA Dojo. Cover 2 with the forearm across the face for the Jets. Rubbing that forearm across the cheek, adding further insult to what he thought was victory. Rick Knotts position again, gets a 2 count. Kevin Knight going for a 3rd cover now, trying to ride down the challenger, getting a 2 count, and immediately going back on the attack. I mean, Kevin Knight literally burning the wicks at both ends here. If he fails down Callis, he will not only be relegated probably to jobber status, he probably excommunicated in a violent way for the Don Callis family if we get an upset for the TNT title tonight. Again, Rick Knox admonishing Kevin Knight, though. The chance of you slow down, I completely agree. Schoolboy roll-up by Speedball Mike Bailey gets a 2 count. Arm wringer, straight jacket, able to escape, looking for the lariat. Big kick by Speedball. Big forearm by Kevin Knight. Wait for the front kick again. Caught with a pump kick. An Irish whip. Both these men, tit for tat, move for move. They know each other again. So that, wow! Holy hell! Leaping him out of midair with that kick. What a roundhouse! And the audience coming to their feet after that amazing exchange. Kevin Knight was figuring that Speedball was going to be on the run. Instead, he jumped up literally to Speedball's bare foot with that vicious roundhouse. AEW chants man out loud and proud, where again, this is professional wrestling, damn it. And again, Kevin Knight is one of those athletes that has really impressed me since being a part of AEW here. Speedball, he's always just been freaking impressive. Just go look at his freaking Impact Wrestling career. Jake Doyle on the outside. Y'all might know him as something. Something! Oh, wait a minute. Kevin Knight, Speedball Mike Bailey, on opposite sides of the ring, looking to spring inside. Kevin Knight trying to outsmart Speedball, who runs in with that kick. And now Speedball scouting Kevin Knight on the outside, possibly looking for the triangle moves. Oh, man, and Kevin Knight beats him to the launch, saw it coming, and caught him flush with a shot to the lower spine, and Speedball with a nasty wipeout. A nasty landing there for Speedball Mike Bailey on the lower lumbar, and Kevin Knight calling for a count out. Oof. Up to 5 right now. Of course, Tao can only just be a pinfall submission inside the ring. Count out will mean the champion will retain. Kevin Knight, for those that don't know, by the way, is the 32nd TNT champion in AEW history. And Kevin Knight flies off the top! As we are 10 minutes in this 20-minute time limit TNT Championship match, launching forward, throwing cause of the wind, soaring down on Speedball Mike Bailey like a freaking kamikaze with that lariat. Now Kevin Knight with that range. Speedball, though, trying to tie up Kevin Knight. The rope through the cover, shoulders down. Nearly got a new champion there. That was close. Knight able to bat drop. Speedball, though, standing. Oh, Revolution knees. Kyle Fletcher knows a thing or two about those. They're devastating right there. Oh, man. Buzzsaw catching on the temple. The cover up the far leg. Gets a 2 count on Kevin Knight. That kick literally ringing off the temple of Kevin Knight. Nearly crowning a new TNT champion here. And Beta Scott talked about again how revenge is the dish best served. Another thrust kick by the multi-degree MMA fighter in Taekwondo. Cyclone kick in the corner. Speedball with a sense of urgency. Closing in a victory. Kevin Knight launching forward with a Hurricane Rana. And now hoisting out Speedball up in the shoulder. Oh, man. Took to a backbreaker over the knee. That might be it to cover. Hook in the far leg. And a kick out 2.5 by Speedball Mike Bailey. Sheesh. Again, every time these two get in the ring together, it's magic. It is literally magic. Kevin Knight right now looking for something big here out of the corner, springing off the top rope. Speedball catching Kevin Knight though. Straight jacket, hold, roll through. Shoulders down, and the roll up, and nearly captured the title. Oh! Barely on target again with another kick. Spinning back heel kick. And Speedball might bear looking to hook up Kevin Knight possibly for that Flamingo driver, but favoring his back and Kevin Knight grabbing the top rope. Better Enziguri though. Smart move though by the champion. Jake Doyle though distracting the official here. Rick Knox doesn't see anything. Meanwhile, Don Callis, that freaking fucking wrench, pulling out the bits of Speedball might barely. And the referee never saw it. There's the Don Callis influence. There's the virus. And now, Speedball might barely and Kevin Knight to the top. Yes! Good shot! Sky high power bomb out of the freaking corner. Dropping Speedball hard. Vicious! Crutch landing Uranagi. Cover. Side press. Kevin Knight retains the TNT Championship. And so far, this first outing as an official member of the Don Callis family, Kevin Knight soars high with the blackest of hearts. And already Don Callis paying dividends for Kevin Knight's future here tonight. And Kevin Knight with a microphone. His fifth successful defense, by the way, of the TNT title. Oh, God, this makes me sick. Saying that was been holding him down. He looked up to Don Callis. You fucking sellout. Come Jet 2 belts. Kevin Knight with his own comment to MJF saying, I'm waiting on you. Again, the last man to beat MJF in singles action. As we go backstage with Renee Paquette, with the Dogs, who, of course, had a very painful message towards the AEW Tag Team Champions last week, Cage and Cope. And you see, of course, the example of the evidence of that celebration they have tonight on those shirts. The Dogs present the new 5-second pose. Oh, good grief. Five-second bruise. 5-second kazoos. Wow, they literally are stealing every trope from Cage and Cope. Real funny. Whoa, the Young Bucks. What the dog doing? Freaking Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson. Sounds like we got a backstage tag grub match maybe developing here for Collision. Damn! Bullet Club's worst leader ever. I mean, Prince Devitt, Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, Switchblade Jay White, David Finlay. Yeah, jury is out. Looks like the Young Bucks was calling out the Dogs for a fight, but they'll do it when they feel like it. Well, folks, coming up next, we're going to learn who the wild card is. So if you haven't gotten your name out yet, this is your chance. After this commercial break, fuck television, we're going to find out who faces Alex Winsor in the women's Owen Hart Memorial Tournament quarterfinals up next on Dynamite. So it looks like that the Dogs are celebrating in every 5-second way possible with beer, kazoos, and a t-shirt with the freaking picture captured by the cameraman last week in black and white too. And the Young Bucks are looking to Bob Barker them, it sounds like, as they look to be the ones next in line to challenge for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Do you all think David Finlay, by the way, was the worst Bullet Club leader? Again, let's look at the history of Bullet Club. Prince Devitt, bang, bang. Phenomenal AJ Styles. Kenny Omega. Switchblade Jay White, the Cutthroat era. David Finlay. Who, in your opinion, was the most influential leader in Bullet Club history? When did you find Bullet Club oh so just too sweet? When did Bullet Club lose its arsenal and fall off the rails and became pawn shop? Let us know your thoughts in the chat as well, and agree us with that. And of course, Bullet Club, for those that don't know now, in case you've been out in New Japan for a long time, it's officially dead. It's no longer a thing. The last of Bullet Club was merged into what used to be those Fantastic Monopolies, now led by Yoda Tsuji, in what's called the Unbound Company. So take that for what you will. Again, for those that are just now tuning in, I want to remind you, yes, Kevin Knight is the newest member of the Don Callis family. Still to come tonight, our main event, Will Ospreay goes one-on-one with Doug Zilla, Mark Davis for the AEW Men's Tournament Semifinals, determining one half of our finals at Forbidden Door in this year's Men's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. But coming up next, the women take center stage. That's out Winsor of the Brawling Birds. That Brawling Brit and AEW Strong Women's Champion will learn who her wild card is. And after coming off that incredible match against Saida, I'm very curious to see who faces her from Stardom, from ROH, from MLP, from AEW, from the independent scene. Is it Charlie? Is it Danny Luna? Who could it freaking be? Sad but not surprised in the state of the Bullet Club, but just like the NWO, hello. Well, it didn't have as many inceptions as the NWO, as far as I know. White, Wolfpack, Resurgence, Blue. Wasn't there a couple of other NWO factions too? Someone give me the NWO history here, not named Jeff Meacham. I'm just saying. Anyway, again, we got a commercial break right now, so we're just grazing it in. Mark Briscoe, Andrade, Kevin Knight, everyone's putting their name out there for the AEW Men's World Championship. And none of those men are involved in the freaking Owen Hart Foundation tournament. What does that tell you? Crazy. Yep, well, that nuance, but nonetheless. Have to go backstage to MJF in an ice bath. Everyday Paquette congratulates the champ. Mark Briscoe wants the shot. What do you guys think about that? Who doesn't want opportunity at the Triple B? Hey, Noah has the nameplate on the middle of it, by the way. Caught me awfully shocked that Mark Briscoe wants a chance. Gonna make Rick nice. No match for you, you bumpkin. That works out for winners, for tough guys. Guys like MJF. MJF saying no one in this company can trump him. As MJF says for the last time to Mark Briscoe, stop asking because it ain't happening. All right, then. So we know Mark Briscoe's going to assault this man and force it to happen at some point, right? Just saying. Anyway, it's MJF's world. We're all living in it. All right, let's go ahead and find out who this wild card is. Time for the women to brawl and fight and take center stage. Let's see who is it. It really is, by the way, and it doesn't look like a glorified logo from a company that undermines the concept of professional wrestling, damn it. It actually has personality. Speaking of personality, Alex Winsor, former Pro Wrestling Eve champion, former Rev Pro Women's Undisputed British Heavyweight champion, current WWE Strong Women's champion right now, as she was looking forward to taking on Willa Nightingale, who previously held that WWE Strong Women's Championship. Unfortunately, had to vacate not only the tournament, but the title, the TBS Championship, as Alex Winsor waits for the unexpected. Let's find out who it is. And the wild card is? Oh, no. Are you kidding me? Oh, shit! The CEO is back in the building! Mercedes Moné! Last year's Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament winner. There was a lot of speculation of her returning to AEW when she lost everything, and Alex Winsor was the one that took her Repro Undisputed British Women's Heavyweight Championship. Mercedes Moné is back in AEW, folks. And of course, say what you will, but one of the most decorated female competitors in this modern era of professional wrestling. Former NWA Strong Women's Champion, by the way, too, a title that Alex Winsor is currently holding. These women are 1-1 against each other. And clearly, Mercedes Moné is looking to re-inform her status quo in AEW and build back her portfolio, maybe with the richest prize that has yet to elude her, the AEW Women's World Championship. I'd feel so bad, though, again, for Willow Nightingale in a world of what ifs. Nonetheless, the reality is Mercedes Moné is back. And as that fan sits down with their head in their laps, is now officially in the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. Again, folks, winner of this match will take on Persephone or Hazuki in the semifinals. Oh, boy. Yeah, and I believe you're right. From one factor to another, Charles. Bell rings are underway as the CEO chants rain out. And we only imagine what this could mean for the AEW Women's Division future going forward. Stiff Continental tab here with these two very strong, proud, driven female competitors. Mercedes Moné setting up a whole different pedigree for the AEW Women's Division last year alone. One of the toughest fights Alex Winsor had here in AEW for the first time ever inside the freaking Philadelphia Arena, 2400 Arena. Also, folks, TBS Championship Survival of the Fittest. It'll be Wednesday, July 1st. Survival of the Fittest will determine a brand new TBS champion. The title that Mercedes Moné held for the longest time ever here in AEW history across 25 successful defenses. Also will be coming AEW Grand Slam Mexico Wednesday, August 5th. Stay tuned for more on that. But for the Akana robe, Mercedes Moné able to hold on to the ropes, though. Now looking for the schoolgirl roll-up. Deep roll-up on Alex Winsor. Gets a 1 count. Drop kick takes Alex Winsor down. And the cover, hook at the far leg, gets a 1 count. Here, Mercedes Moné, who lost last year to Timeless Toni Storm at AEW, all in Texas, when she won the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament and handed her first defeat by Timeless Toni Storm in her pursuit for the AEW Women's World Championship. Deep arm drag by Mercedes Moné and a counter one by Alex Winsor, getting the better of the CEO. And ring rust always a factor here. We haven't seen Mercedes Moné since she lost the TBS Championship to Willow Nightingale at New Year's Smash prior to New Year starting. And back elbow connects. Mercedes Moné, of course, lost all her titles across all the promotions across the world, including Alexis Falcon. Oh, La Mystica. Alex Winsor right now in the submission hold. That Lucha background coming into play. La Mystica takedown by Mercedes Moné into the crossface. Center of the ring, we've seen people tap out, of course. To the statement maker. Escrib across the bridge of the nose. Alex Winsor, though, trying to crawl her way to the ropes. And again, smart move right now. Mercedes Moné grabbing the arm, though. Rolling Alex Winsor back towards center. Now dragging Winsor. Again, literally drawing those hands back. Alex Winsor here right now in a world of trouble. And again, attacking the grip right now is what you need to do. You need to break those fingers right now. And again, Mercedes Moné relentless on this hold. Alex Winsor, though, able to get up to the vertical base. Ah, the backstabber by the CEO. Cover, lateral press. Gets a 2 count, says referee Brendan Martinez. Mercedes Moné, the last time we saw her in in-ring action, as I said, in AEW, was December 31st, last year. Now literally whiplashing Alex Winsor by her hair. Her last actual official match, Meteor drop Alex Winsor catching the legs, was back in March in WPW when she lost the Winnipeg Pro Wrestling Women's Championship to Jody Frett. She has not been involved in in-ring action since March, folks. And of course, she literally had a domino effect since losing to timeless Toni Storm. Oh, man, what a rising knee. And catching her with a vicious neck breaker across the center rope. And the neck coming down awkwardly on the apron. Now Mercedes Moné scouting. It's Winsor with the Meteor to the floor. The CEO looking to go up beyond West Point here tonight, and we'll find out if she does as Wrestler Client Picture and Picture continues a full commercial for HBO Max, Fox streaming services. And the fence of the match, Mercedes Moné. I'm just all sorts of damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Oh, man, this is not good for anyone in this year tournament, if I had to be honest. And imagine Thekla being the one on the other end of Mercedes Moné's rise to the highest route to the AEW Women's World Championship. And the fact of the matter, Mercedes Moné has lost pretty much all of her matches, might I add, since she lost the Red Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship to Alex Winsor and the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship to Red Velvet, and her rematch for the AEW Women's World Championship at the expense of Chris Statlander. It's literally an arc of redemption for the CEO, or maybe so much more as revenge. I remember the last time that she was here, she said that she would be back here for more than gold. And of course, that was after she went face first in a cake due to Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale, which I still found funny. And Persephone, of course, who won the CMLL Women's World Championship against Mercedes Moné. The Best Yeah Women's title won by Swan. The Rixie Women's title won by Mila Smith. And the Body Slam Women's title, of course, won by the witchy bitch, Alexis Falcon, who will be challenging, of course, Session Moth Martina at Pro Wrestling Eve 150, June 5th. I encourage you to watch that on YouTube, folks. Become a member today, Pro Wrestling Eve's YouTube channel. And lost the PTW Women's title to Diana Strong and the WPW Women's title to Jody Frett. And of course, I want to remind you all again, the first title she won in AEW was at the expense of Willow Nightingale. Now, Willow Nightingale not even being part of the equation, who took that title from her in the first place. Willow Nightingale's injury might be a saving grace for Mercedes Moné now to become the AEW Women's World Champion this year. Good boy. And of course, as I said, longest reigning TBS champion in AEW history. Held that title for 584 days across 25 defenses. For those that don't know, Survival of the Fittest is a 6-way eliminator match. It comes down to the last woman left that isn't eliminated. And that will determine a brand new TBS champion on July 1st. So stay tuned for more on that. I'm very curious, do you include previous champions? Julia Hart, of course, put out, Thekla put out Julia Hart there, of course, who lost that title to Willow Nightingale due to injury, as we are back at AEW Dynamite. Again, folks, the CEO is back. Mercedes Moné, now channeling her inner Eddie Guerrero, her idol, looking for the Three Amigos. And connects, channeling her own inner Latino heat. Mercedes Moné looking in fine form here so far tonight, despite the fact we have not seen her wrestle in AEW for the whole calendar year so far. Oh, jumping right shot by Alex Winsor. Alex Winsor, cross-arm takedown off the top rope. Takes Mercedes down and falls up the clothesline in the corner. Now on the run. So we're going to miss by Moné. Now it's Winsor again, outpacing the CEO. Just throwing her body through her, taking her down. And again, folks, the finals of this year's Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament will take place at Forbidden Door, Sunday, June 28th. We will be coming up live here at the Super Reliable Studios. And the winners of those matches will challenge for their respective world titles at AEW All In at August 30th in Wembley Stadium in London. Nice rolling cannonball off the apron. I want to see this Brit freaking on the grandest stage in the law in her own country. Do it the Will Ospreay route. CEO chants ringing out right now. How time makes the heart fonder, it feels like. And right now, as Winsor needs to stay on top of her opponent as Mercedes Moné plays keep away. Mercedes Moné wiped out by Alex Winsor, who runs off the apron. And of course, we're seeing Mrs. Bruff here, still coming our main event. Mr. Bruff, Will Ospreay, will challenge Dougzilla Mark Davis. Alex Winsor bringing Mercedes Moné back inside the ring. Of course, we've seen how quick Mercedes Moné can catch you in a surprise roll-up. Multiple matches during last year's Owen Hart Tournament came with just a roll-up out of nowhere. And Mercedes Moné catching Alex Winsor, hooking the head. German suplex. Might be looking for another three amigas here. And the second one connects. And looking for a third, or should I say fifth or sixth. Alex Winsor, the hooking Mercedes Moné, looking for Made in Japan, down all of it, gets a 2 count. Oof. Able to break free. The fact of the matter, that pump handle wasn't, it looked like she didn't have her fully locked in on that pump handle, though. And that might come down to the disorientation of all those German suplexes. And again, folks, this Saturday will be coming Collision. You will see the other first round match in the women's Owen, Hazuki versus Persephone. And she did get a little change in her theme music, by the way, but did you get a change in attitude? Highly unlikely, unlikelihood. Now driving out Winsor face first in the second turnbuckle and just driving her boots and the shoulder blades. Again, folks, next week, Wednesday, Saray, the Sun God, will take on Sky Blue at Summer Blockbuster in the women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament quarterfinals remaining match. Now Mercedes Moné looking for something big here. Out of the corner, clubbing shot there. Saray, former, of course, Merry-Go World Champion and former IWGP Women's Champion. And Mercedes Moné, also a former IWGP Women's Champion. Now looking to take the CO for the ride. Alex Winsor and Mercedes Moné high up in the corner. I sense disaster. With Winsor, and planted down with Alex Meteora. Cover to advance by Moné. Gets a 2 count out, Winsor. Woof. Just driving those knees down from the top turnbuckle through Winsor. And look at disbelief right now, edged over the face of the CEO. Can you imagine if Mercedes Moné comes back tonight and loses? She will never be able to look herself in the mirror again, I feel like, here in AEW. Pressure is on Mercedes Moné more than ever to not only go back-to-back in this year's Women's Own Hart Foundation Tournament, but finally win the AEW Women's World Championship. Sunset flip, power bomb in the corner by Mercedes Moné as Alex Winsor's head hits the second turnbuckle. And now Moné look for the double knees. Alex Winsor able to get out of the way. Knees at the corner. Winsor roll up 2 and able to escape. Kick out, Maestro Credo. Kick out by Alex Winsor now. Both these women looking for the flash pin. And the knee trapped. Seatbelt pin 2. Nearly got her there. Mercedes able to escape. Pushes Alex Winsor off into the ropes. Mercedes drops down, crossleg cover, and Alex Winsor able to escape again. This is a hell of a back and forth. Rising knee strike. Backstabber up and over. Goes Alex Winsor. Dragged again towards center. Into the statement maker. Got a long way to go, and the damage done to the back. Alex Winsor taps out. Mercedes Moné advances. Let go of the damn hole, you ratchet bitch. Jeez. Clear some revenge behind that win. Mercedes Moné with a more humble tune in her theme, but no humility shown tonight in that victory. As Mercedes Moné looks to go back-to-back as we look at the updated bracket, Mercedes Moné advances to the semifinals of this year's Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. And this Saturday, coast-to-coast live collision, we will see who awaits the CEO in the semifinals, whether it's Suzuki, who she beat in the Walter Pyramid, defending W Strong women's title, or taking on Persephone, the woman that beat her for the CMLL Women's World Championship. And they're also 1-1 as the CEO looks to go all in this year and literally go all in for the gold. Representing CMLL, Persephone, representing Stardom Mizuki, the Wild Heart versus the Goddess of the Underworld. I cannot wait to call that match. Good back and forth game bout. Mercedes Moné in fine form. And also, due to the fact that Ty J survived the 5-minute eliminator, Divine Dominion will defend the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championships against Ty Mello and Anna Jay. As, of course, they said that was a fluke. And we've already seen countless times how Anna Jay and Ty Mello have made it personal at the expense of the AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions. Ty J, the original tag team of AEW. When these titles were first minted, many people had them in the conversation, surviving the damnedest street fight in Rampage history against the Bunny Alley and Penelope Ford, and also standing strong together inside Jericho Appreciation Society. Ty J are looking to be the stars of the Women's Division this Saturday, and they very well could do it if they find a way to humble Divine Dominion. Or once again, it's just another divine intervention. And of course, first round action in the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament will continue next week, folks. Saray, the Sun God, makes her AEW debut against Sky Blue. And Swerve Strickland will go 1-on-1 against Brody King. Brody King fighting on behalf of a fallen Brochacho Bandito. But coming up next on a wild night of Dynamite it's been, which have already been fun to cover, it's time for our main event. Will Ospreay, Mark Davis, our semifinal match in the Men's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. After this commercial break. As we go backstage with Don Callis and the former AEW International Champion, Kazuchika Okada. Everybody's talking about the Don Callis family. It's hard to argue with the amount of success and star power that Don Callis has in his freaking family. Don Callis saying that Kevin Owens will become the greatest TNT champion of all time. And hyping up Mark Davis, who he believes is going to drop Ospreay like a stack of dimes. And go on and win the Owen. Highly unlikely in my opinion. There's one piece of business. And what is the next for Okada-san? Who got screwed? Okada saying Takeshita's never up this family. Ooh. Okada clearly with his eyes set with another day with the Alpha. But coming up next, our main event, Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis, the semifinals in the Owen Hart Man Foundation Tournament. Woo, man. I tell you, this night definitely has delivered a whole lot more than last week, it feels like. You look at the state of the AEW Men's World Championship picture with MJF at the helm, beating Rush, Andrade calling him out, Mark Briscoe calling him out, Kevin Knight calling him out. Everybody wants to go after MJF. It's acknowledged here in AEW. Despite the fact we got Swerve, Brody, Ospreay, Mark Davis still involved here in the Men's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. You got the Women's World Championship with Thekla, who says she declares death on Stardom. Calling out Stardom at Forbidden Door. Seeing Stardom Town involved in the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. In Saray, in Kazuki. Seeing names that she's already faced in Alice Winter, who just got eliminated. Seeing other names that she could be facing, like Athena, who previously beat her. Seeing names in her own Triangle of Madness that could face her, like Sky Blue. Think about the TBS Championship with the former TBS champion, Julia Hart, possibly getting back the title that she lost against Willow Nightingale in the first ever Women's Survivor of the Fittest that we now know will happen July 1st. freaking Kevin Knight, the newest member of the Don Callis family. And now we got Mercedes Moné back here at AEW, and she advanced to the semifinals of the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. I'll tell you one thing, we've had a lot coming out of here tonight, and we aren't done yet, folks. So again, before we get to our main event, woo, good Lord almighty. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope that you all have enjoyed. I hope you all continue to follow us here at the Speedball Studios. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Follow us today at SR Studios 2024 to keep up with everything we do here and all the watch-alongs coverage and all the watch-alongs that we do. Follow all the friends, all the fans, all the family members here at the Speedball Studio, the Rage of Wrestling, Walter Cruz, the Cast of the 18 Studios at ROW, JJ Williams, our Mighty Morphin Pink Power Ranger, Dattila, of course, our baddie friend Ash at Baddie for Wrestling. And of course, you can follow us all here in her new venture, Dattila's new venture, Pop Culture Powerbomb here on the X. The bird is dead. JJ, fix that graphic or I will, damn it. I'm the one that believes in freaking currently events. Just saying. And I hope you'll continue to follow us here for all the watch-along coverage for the women and men's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. Again, we'll see you Saturday for Collision, as we will be covering that. As again, we now know we got freaking Hazuki versus Persephone. We also know this coming Wednesday, 1 week from tonight at Summer Blockbuster, we have freaking Saray versus Sky Blue and Brody King versus Shrishing. That will cement our finals for the men's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. But that being said, it's been a wild ride and another fun time tonight with incredible in-ring action and huge developments for the AEW World Championship and a lot of tease for the future. When it comes to other championships, I expect Darby Allin to come back and confront Kevin Knight, and like he beat the Death Riders, I expect Darby Allin to go through the Don Callis family again. I expect Andrade to confront Don Callis at some point too. But nonetheless, welcome back to AEW here as we get ready for our main event. Speaking of moments, last week, Wednesday, Tommaso Ciampa took his moment against Chris Jericho after Jericho finally beat Ricochet with the Lion Salt. And freaking Ciampa gave us 1,000 reasons why he hates Chris Jericho, which was bloody fucking brilliant. Oh my gosh. As we go to Ciampa backstage. Where is Chris Jericho? Saying that he's home still because the Psycho Killer beat him. Well, clearly, Tommaso Ciampa wanted to spoil Chris Jericho's moment. Reality struck. What was that reality? The Psycho Killer. Let my flag on the ground and chop the head off the snake that is Jericho. I'm a patient man with a long list. So stay away. To do it, and I will be waiting. Ooh. The stupid idiot. Wow. Ciampa hitting all the Jericho digs in that promo. Anyway, let's have the shit. It's minute time on Dynamite. And of course, we will stick with this main event for as long as it takes. And of course, one of these two men will officially punch their ticket to the Forbidden Door and the finals of this year's men's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. Will Ospreay, of course, who was part of last year's finals at Double or Nothing before losing to Hangman Adam Page. And of course, it was literally prior to Dynasty on after Dynasty on April 22nd, where Will Ospreay was dropped by Mark Davis countless times over, and Paul Turner stopped the match. And Mark Davis got the biggest win of his career via ref stoppage over the Aerial Assassin before the Death Riders came in and gave Will Ospreay a second chance on this road to redemption, not only for himself, but his country. Listen to that place. I love the energy. And this crowd has been awesome tonight, bruv. Crowds up. Also 1/3 of the 6-man never openweight champions, of course, in NJPW for United Empire. It's going to be a very dangerous rematch and re-encounter of a different kind with Dunkzilla. Of course, also wearing one eye patch here, still sporting the damage from Stand Stampede when he was dropped toe hold in that bottom foot of that chair in catering. And of course, AEW National Champion. As we go to Renee Paquette with the sports takes. Of course, the discipline and the conditioning of Will Ospreay's neck by the Death Riders, John Moxley and Marina Shafir, has been absolutely a blessing for the aerial assassin, but might lead to a dark omen for things to come. As John Moxley says, he looks to follow this through to the end. Of course, we saw the way that Will Ospreay was able to overcome Samoa Joe, not with the flying armbar takeover, now known as Death Ground, but with Old Faithful, a hidden blade to the front and the back, rendering the Samoan submission machine out of this year's tournament. Bell reigns are underway and we're starting off quick. Drop kick to the knee, and already Will Ospreay grounding Mark Davis and attacking that left arm. You see Dunkzilla right now trying to protect that arm, though. Big knife edge chop, the heavy hands of Mark Davis, former, of course, multiple-time tag team champion, former member of Ospreay's Night Empire. Take up a Tijeras by the aerial assassin. Of course, you see the incredible athleticism of Will Ospreay. Calls himself a man on another level, looking to be the ace of AEW, much like Hiroshi Tanahashi was in NJPW, now retired. Now just mounting Mark Davis in the corner and just teeing off here. Trying to get in that eye. And shuts that eye patch off as Will Ospreay sees the vulnerability. Big scoop slam, though, by Dunkzilla, creating separation. See how well the vision of Mark Davis is. This match continues with that eye now exposed. Back elbow strike, creates separation. Ospreay, though, wall kick. Step at the guy. Rocks Dunkzilla, staggering him down. Still on his feet, though. Ospreay up the ropes. Pop up. Wow! That body drop as Ospreay landed back first, thankfully. Davis, though, with the follow-up senton drop. And Davis right now trying to fire himself up here. With so much going on for the Don Callis family, and Don Callis right now putting his chips in the Dunkzilla to win the men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament and possibly pursue the AEW World Championship. Two devils on a different demeanor of desires, and their own dirty deeds might come out to bite him in the ass. And you see Mark Davis attacking Ospreay's neck with that pinpoint forearm strike. And again, referee for this contest, Paul Turner, the referee that stopped the last time these two men were in the ring together. And Mark Davis trapping Will Ospreay in the abdominal stretch. And again, applying even more pressure. If that neck's been conditioned heavily by the Death Riders, we're going to see truly how well that neck holds up here for sure. Ospreay still fighting back here, though, with the free arm, though, trying to break the grip. And the elbow. Look for the hip toss. Hip toss, able to land on his feet. Off the ropes, ducks underneath, hand, spring, corkscrew kick by Will Ospreay. How the hell does he do that? It's still beyond me. When Ospreay is on a roll, and the way that he just rolls himself through the air. And right now, Will Ospreay scouting Mark Davis, possibly looking for a pip. Cheerio! Leaps off with a phenomenal form. Shout to AJ Styles. Now the cover, hook the far leg. It's a 2 count. Davis able to kick out. Woo! And of course, whoever wins this match will be waiting for either Swerve Strickland or Brody King on the other side of the bracket at Forbidden Door. Again, folks, I hope you join us Sunday, June 28th, when we cover that preview live, and also stay tuned that week when we simply predict AEW, where the best wrestle and the best pay-per-views are brought to you for your buck. Irish whip, drop kick, and Brooke Davis taken out of action for the time being. Of course, Forbidden Door leads not only to AEW's ascension, but also a redemption as we put it all in combination at AEW All in London in Wembley Stadium. As Will Ospreay's fired out here tonight, looking to get ready to fly over the top with the pull-up. Lands on the apron as Mark Davis gets out of the way, goes around the corner. Now Ospreay in pursuit. And Ospreay meeting Mark Davis in kind with the shots to the forehead. Irish whip, reversal, Mark Davis. Oh no! Sending Ospreay back first into the LED barricade. And again, the difference here, the definition of speed versus power, agility versus aggression. Now hoisted up, possibly looking for an apron powerbomb, and Will Ospreay finding it their life. Oof. Coming it back thrust kick. And right now, Ospreay staggering his way, going up to the top rope, and Mark Davis might be positioned as Ospreay. Davis going far away from the drop zone by the Arrow Assassin. Again, Mark Davis knows what Ospreay was thinking and not letting the audience get what they want here. Ospreay, though, charging Mark Davis. The Hurricane Rana takes Mark Davis up and over. With Ospreay with the advantage so far. And Paul Turner showing a lot of leniency here. Considering what is at stake here tonight for one man, it is do or die. Bouncing Mark Davis off that position, off those reinforced announce tables. Of course, Will Ospreay came into AEW and was influenced by Don Callis to a certain degree, which of course eventually led to him beating Kenny Omega for the IWGP United States Championship. Went for the tornado DDT, Mark Davis able to fight off against, oh man! X-Flex release on the announce table. And the spine bouncing off that partition. Woo! Take a look at the replay here. Tornado DDT off the apron to the floor counter by Mark Davis with a vicious release. X-Plex on that announce table partition. Will Ospreay's spine buckled. And of course, all that damage probably ringing up the spine of Will Ospreay, probably leading to a stinging effect in that arm. We've seen that before out of the shoulder. So far, Will Ospreay not showing any lingering signs. And Doug's on the move! Driving his side for Will Ospreay in the corner. A dangerous, monstrous approach by the AEW National Champion, unleashing wrath and fury, Don Callis size against the Assassin here again tonight. An unhinged beast of something different. And the crowd trying to will Will Ospreay back into this. Hoisting Will Ospreay up to the top turnbuckle. Of course, as I said, Will Ospreay, former AEW International Champion, won that title back from MJF at Wembley Stadium. Massive superplex by Mark Davis, buckling Will Ospreay. And you see Ospreay right now literally filling up the fingers here, the after effects of that collapse on his back. Will Ospreay elevate himself to the final stage here? Restaurant Quiet picture-in-picture, fuck television. That was a horrible landing there for Will Ospreay. And again, constant focus attack on Will Ospreay's neck and back. Ospreay, of course, former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, IWGP International Champion. Every time I see Will Ospreay go up against somebody in the Don Callis family, it's almost like the Don Callis family people are channeling attitudes of the Commonwealth Kingpin, Will Ospreay. Kyle Newman feels like he's trying to be that himself, and Will Ospreay to him now is this young boy, because he wants Will Ospreay to be that killer. And Ospreay says, you got to give me time. As Ospreay literally working with his most formidable rival, he came back for revenge for to break the man's neck. That very man might literally help Will Ospreay reinforce his neck and help him win the AEW World Championship as he tries to turn him into the most dangerous weapon that he can, saying that he's not the same man that he was. You know, there's a good classic song. I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good as I'll ever be. I wonder if Will Ospreay is going to deny that trope tonight and is better than what he can be. Woo! That's, of course, right now, Mark Davis in control again, folks. We're staying with this match as long as it takes. So, again, keep up with us here as we take our final commercial break, as we go into overtime. And afterwards, when you're done watching us here on this stream, I suggest you say, yeah, it's No DQ, and check out Aaron Britt's review of AEW. Speaking of which, if you haven't already, follow No DQ today, as you might see me once in a while in No DQ review. And, of course, we host the predicting in conjunction with the No DQ Predictions League for AEW and the WWE. So, again, if you are enjoying those leagues, please follow us here at the Speedball Studios, follow the Simmons brand, and follow NoDQ at Aaron Rip and at NoDQ.com, and follow us here at SR Studios 2024. For it's not about me, it's about wrestling. Support wrestling today. make wrestling fun for you, enjoy live, and enjoy what comes with it. And shout out to my partner and fellow statistician, Papagino. If you haven't already, go check out the Major Push Wrestling podcast on the Papagino Network and subscribe today to Papagino's channel. And stay tuned as we always break it down in Predictions League Breakdown. He also has been here helping us with interviews as of late. So shout out again to Papagino. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Papagino Network today or follow him at Papagino0017 all summer long for breakdowns, Rocket League, and Major Push Wrestling and more in store. Appreciate you, my brother. As we'll be back here soon in AEW. I can't imagine Will Ospreay losing this match, though. Can you? Like, seriously, we gotta be honest here. Will Ospreay loses this, we are flipping the script more in AEW than I think. All right? I feel like it's a foregone conclusion that Ospreay has to be in the finals. Now, whether or not he wins, I think that comes down to United Empire and Death Rider allegiances or perspectives. I'm just saying. As we are back here tonight in our main event for the men's Owen Hart Tournament semifinals, one of these two men will punch their ticket to the forbidden door. And Mark Davis on the move. Ospreay gets the boots up, though. So far, it's been a one-on-one contest. Mark Davis catching Ospreay off the spring! Overhead bail back inside the ring. Good Lord, just hammering Ospreay and throwing him like a shot put. Vicious southpaw lariat. Oh, dangerous backdrop. You saw the way he clutched his neck. Mark Davis in the cover. Lateral press gets a 2.5. Again, the last 72 faced each other. Referee for the contest was the same official, Paul Turner, and he stopped the match for Will Ospreay's own well-being, as Will Ospreay could not defend himself, it seems. You see the way right now that John Moxley might have saved Will Ospreay's life after stopping Dunkzilla with the continuous tombstone pile drivers after the match was over. Will Ospreay knows that danger is there, but so far, Will Ospreay, again, you see the way he's clutching sometimes his left shoulder and feeling out his fingers. The importance, of course, going to the finals this year to try and etch your name on that trophy to join the likes of Ricky Starks, Bryan Danielson, Heyman Adam Page, and Adam Cole, baby. Now, for his shop again, as Will Ospreay might be channeling his inner Bushido here from this audience that's willing him on and believing the Aerial Assassin's time is this year. Big chop and big forearm exchange right now in the middle of the ring. Will Ospreay getting the better of it, though, it seems. Oh, again, just another open palm staggering Ospreay, though, who refuses to leave his footing and show any vulnerability. Now teeing up again against Dunkzilla's jawline here with these elbows. And Mark Davis staggered. Another knife chop, spring up. Oh, man, jumps in the Enziguri, rocking Dunkzilla again. Good grief. Finally, Mark Davis took him down to his knees. Now the rising Kawada kicks to the forehead now, and Ospreay finally getting the better of Mark Davis. Oh! Big back kick. Looking for the Oscar, knife chop. Jumping Enziguri, though. Both these men acting on instinct at this point. With everything on the line here. Woo! As again, this summer, tickets for the Forbidden Door, AEW offers a redemption, and then it all culminates all in London, Wembley Stadium. And again, folks, we'll be covering all of that here at the Super Reliable Studios. And right now, Will Ospreay might be looking to channel that hidden blade. Can he sheath the sword and stick it for the heart of Mark Davis, who collides with him with a lariat? These chops, rights and lefts, but Ospreay, that's a coming to kick. Went for the rolling lariat, blocks the lariat. Big hook kick. Another roundhouse, rocks Dunkzilla to his knees. Ospreay scouting, mark for the Robinson special. On target, shoots the half, lateral press, to advance, kick out, 2.5. And now Ospreay, German suplex with a bridge, 2 count only. Went from the snapdown, but instead went for the German suplex hold. Just constantly chopping down the redwood. That is Dunkzilla here in Virginia. We're going to take this thing home. Crowd chant, this is awesome, and I agree. Ospreay now to the top rope. Mark Davis, though, staggering to his feet, might be unaware. And the stop to the arms and grab the top rope. And now Ospreay looking for the flying armbar takeover to Gatami, but the wrist clutch. That depth grip preventing the depth ground being locked in. And see right now, Ospreay's got the armbar in. But again, too much leverage, too much power. And the triangle and the one-arm deadlift and a power bomb by Mark Davis with a sense of urgency immediately. Now pulling up Ospreay into the pile driver. Is it enough? Here, kick out at 2 9/10. Oh my gosh, I thought he had him there. Woo! Literally hoisting him up, sudden impact with that tombstone power driver immediately in the cover. But you saw the way that he felt that stinging in that left arm, and Ospreay getting the shoulder up in 2 9/10. That might have been the only saving grace I allow Ospreay to kick out. Now Dunkzilla with Marte on the apron. Ospreay in trouble here. Pile driver possibly fighting back though. Both men in dangerous territory here on the edge of a lightning bolt from certain disaster. And Ospreay now looking to hook up Mark Davis. Can he hoist him up? Davis able to kick away though. Trying to return the favor. A bit of revenge here on the Monteiro Assassin. And the knees, the point of the knee of the head. What? Gotta wipe that with a lariat. Bring him back inside. Now get Ospreay back inside the ring. And Mark Davis right now saying that this is it. Again, dangerous. The definition of Mark Davis. Now hoist it. What the hell is this? Oh no. Oh no. Hoist it up and turn around. Ospreay with the Hurricane Run to Mark Davis. Nasty landing from the apron to the floor. Good Lord. Take a look at the replay here as he looked for the power bomb, and Mark Davis landing high end on the back of his head and back. And Ospreay avoiding certain disaster. An incredible night of Dynamite has been. Incredible night for wrestling. What an incredible fun show this has been. And Paul Turner starting his 10 count here. Mark Davis still literally screaming out in agony, favoring his lower lumbar. And Will Ospreay slowly getting back up to his feet. Getting back inside the ring. Paul Turner up to 7. It was a roll for him. Rolls the outside. Count of 8. Count of 9. And Mark Davis just sliding back in. Well, Ospreay though. Springboard missile drop kick to the side of the head. Send the Verzi bring him back inside the ring. Steps over. Got him in position. Got him hooked. Styles Clash connects. Shoots the half cover. 2 advance kick out. 2.5 by Mark Davis. How the hell? Incredible resilience by Dunkzilla. Incredible fortitude for punishment by both these men. This is what it means to fight in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Now off the second rope for the odds cutter. Mark Davis catching Ospreay again. Up and over. Ospreay lands on his feet though. Waist slap. Back elbow strike. And again. Oh no! Jumping into Guri. Inadvertent contact with the official. Paul Turner went down. Hidden Blade connects to Mark Davis. Ospreay in the counter. Lateral press. No referee though. Up to 5. Up to 6. Up to 7. Who's the hell? Triparetta and El Clone, the Don Collins family. I knew this was going to happen. This is absolute bullshit. This is what it's all about at the end of the day with the Don Collins family, the numbers game. And these two men are trying to really destroy Will Ospreay, possibly looking for the strong zero stuffed pile driver. And wait a minute, Claudio! And Yuna, the Death Riders! Darren Garcia! Again, we talked about how much the Death Riders got Ospreay's back! The psycho knee! Combination offense by Yuna and Garcia! Uh-oh. And more members coming out now. Lance Archer breaks the banner and wipes out the Death Riders with the flying crossbody. Faction warfare ensuing here. And Claudio Castagnoli does need to close off the second rope. Corkscrew uppercut, wiping out the Murder Hawk monster. And referee down out here, it's all legal. Now Brian Cage holds up Claudio into an F5. And here comes Pato, the bastard. Ducks into the discus lariat. Combination offense, spinning Silva, rising kick, spinning Silva. Now Punk on the move, hits him with a flying boot from the side of the head. Now Mark Davis back inside the ring, hoisting up Punk. Ooh, lands flat. Ospreay up the second rope. Oh, it's cutter! Valerian Assassin, get the referee in there! 4, 5, 6, Punk back in position. 1, 2, and oh my God, Lance Archer pulled the ref out. And Jake Doyle now in the fray. By any means necessary. That's the Don Callis family. And right now, wait a minute. We see Jake Doyle now in the ring with Will Ospreay here. And Rhea Shafir on the back of Jake Doyle with a sleeper hold. Oh, Doyle ripping her off, though, by her hair. Again, the woman doesn't give a damn about any sort of fear between any man or woman. Uh-oh, this isn't good. Jon Moxley! Jon Moxley taking control. Oh, eat that elbow. Get to the midsection, and Jon Moxley, double diverter! Double DDT, and a double clothesline by Shafir and Moxley. Wiping Doyle on the outside. This is absolutely batshit crazy, and I love it. Shot by Pac, weapon out there on the floor, and Shafir teeing up against Doyle. It's literally faction warfare. This is amazing. And right now, the Death Riders driving away the Don Callis family. Ospreay, Jake Doyle, Ospreay, and Mark Davis. Only two men left inside the ring as all outside parties have been neutralized and driven away to the backstage area. Paul Turner right now still out here, and Ospreay might be looking for the Tiger Driver or the Stormbreaker. Can he lift him with that shoulder? Oh, no. Kind of flusher from behind with the head and shoulder captured suplex. The prodigal son of the Don Callis family and the Brutus to what became Julius Caesar Will Ospreay. Now with a screwdriver in hand, looking to screw the aerial assassin and stab him in the back of the head with it. Oh, wait a minute. Don't get a catch up! The Alpha feuding with Fletcher on the outside! Take it off against the Proto Star! The man that betrayed the Alpha at Double or Nothing when he sold his soul to Don Callis! The stories that are unfolding, the robberies being renewed and boiling! But Mark Davis now with the screwdriver in hand. This match has everything and then some. And Hidden Blade connects. Disarms the neck and Blade in the face. In the jaw, Paul Turner, where the fuck are you? Get a referee out here. Come on, someone make the count. 8, 9, Brett Redberg, 2, no! What? This crowd is losing it, so am I! This is fucking incredible! It's a damn near riot! Whipping the Hidden Blade just underneath. Dumps into the high kick. Mark Davis from Will Ospreay up. Another pile driver! Center of the ring! Back press up the leg! Mark, no! Kick out to by Ospreay! Ospreay will not die! And neither will his chances tonight! Oh, this is fucking amazing. Mark Davis rebounding Ospreay up the ropes, looking for that pumping bomber. Up and over goes Ospreay, though. Hooking up Mark Davis. Mark Davis trying to hook Ospreay. Ospreay, though, looking for the Death Ground. Death Ground armbar locked in. Middle of the ring. Mark Davis, nowhere to go. And Mark Davis shot down. Mark Davis shot down. Mark Davis shot down. Well, Ospreay fucking wins. What a fucking war of a main event tonight! In the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament, Will Ospreay has punched his ticket to Forbidden Door, and it's in the finals! Once again, Ospreay finds himself in the same spot, one match away from Ascension 1 year later on a road to redemption. And it all might lead to the crowning culmination of the Area Assassin. That's professional wrestling. Damn it. And of course, next week we'll find out in Cincinnati, Ohio, whether Swerster and Brody King will meet Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door, where one man will go all in. Holy hell, and Ospreay even collapsed on the mat. I'm surprised I didn't collapse. God damn. Woo! But fans, thank you for joining me here tonight at Survivor Studios, and thank you, AEW Fleet, for joining me in this incredible festivity that I love doing in professional wrestling commentary. This is AEW with the best wrestle. I will see you Saturday live for Collision, where the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament will continue as we bring you the entire coverage of this tournament all the way through Forbidden Door. But until next time, as always, I'm the Seminole Foster, reminding all of you to make a positive impact in life. Believe in AEW, damn it. And have a good night. This is where the best wrestle. And this tonight has been AEW Dynamite. Have a good night, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Holy hell, what a show and what a main event.